Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make for you Jamaican beef patties. These are going to be soft and juicy, spicy on the inside and flaky on the outside. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with 3.5 cups of flour. Next we're going to add a tablespoon of curry powder for the color and flavor. And now we're going to add 4 tablespoons of margarine. To that we add a teaspoon of salt, and we're just gonna slowly add some cold water so we can make our dough. So at this point I'm just kneading my dough, and again we're using ice cold water because we still want the butter to stay solid. We do not want the butter to melt. So now we've achieved the beautiful dough. And our dough is solid, butter is still intact, our dough is feeling very cold. And onto a clean surface we're going to roll our dough. And I lightly flour the surface. I'm just using my rolling pin to roll, and I'm adding more butter because more butter, more flakiness, more niceness to the beef patties. So you always want to make sure you use frozen butter. Now we're going to fold our dough and we're going to roll our dough. So this process is called laminating. The more folds you put is the more layers you're creating in the crust, and this is what creates the flakiness within your beef patties. And everyone that has a real Jamaican beef patty knows that there's a lot of evidence that you are eating patty because the crumbs is going to be on your face, in your lap if you're driving, if you're sitting down and eating, it's going to be all over you. So yeah, these layers is what creates those crumbs. So yeah, we just fold it, roll it, and repeat this process multiple times to create all the layers that we need within our beef patty crust. During this process, if you find that your dough is getting soft, you may want to just pause for a minute, wrap it up in some plastic wrap, put it into your refrigerator to get hardened, okay, because you do not want the butter to melt. And then after you do that, you just lightly flour your surface again and repeat the process. So while I was doing this video, I did stop maybe 2 to 3 times, put my dough back into the refrigerator so that it hardens up because I didn't want the butter to melt. And as you can look at the surface, it was getting a little bit sticky. So the stickiness, you could just add some more flour and just roll your dough and make sure that the butter does not completely melt. Now I'm going to use my pizza cutter to cut my dough into a nice rectangular sheet. And don't worry about the excess dough because we'll be using that to make more crust for our beef patties. At this point, guys, if you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That's how you can help support the channel, okay? I appreciate all the love and the support so far. This channel is fairly new and we're growing. And I'll be putting out more content for you guys. Yeah, making beef patties is really a process and it's fun. It's really enjoyable. I enjoy doing this. So now we're gonna Now on to making our filling for our beef patties. So I'm cutting up some garlic. We're just chopping those up nice in small bits and pieces. And now we're going to cut up half of an onion. Same thing, we're just going to chop it up nice and small. And we're going to add some ginger. You know, ginger adds a tremendous amount of flavor and taste. And I'm going to cut up some carrots. Carrots add beautiful color and taste to your beef patties as well. We're going to throw some jalapenos in there for that little bit of kick that we need in our beef patties. And some green onions. We're going to cut up some bell peppers as well. Again, this adds beautiful color and texture to your beef patties. And this is our vegetable platter right here. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to saute this on top of the stove. Alright, into a skillet we're going to add a small amount of vegetable oil, and we're going to saute half the vegetables that we just cut up. Vegetables first, and then we'll add the remaining half when we're almost finished cooking. So I'm adding about a pound of ground beef, and I'm just using my spatula to break down the beef. Now we're going to season our meat, and these are our dry ingredients. So we're going to add a teaspoon of curry powder, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of adobo all-purpose seasoning. So we're going to use our spatula to mix around and incorporate all our ingredients. At this point the kitchen is smelling so good because with all the seasons we've just added are very aromatic and creates a nice smell inside the kitchen. Now I'm using my fork to help break down the meat. To that I'm going to add a teaspoon of soy sauce. Soy sauce does add a little bit of salt and flavor. And now we're going to add some scotch-bonnet pepper. And this will add all the fire that we need in our meat sauce. Again, if you don't like spice, go easy with the scotch bonnet. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and this will help to absorb all the oil. Yeah, at this point, like I said, the kitchen is smelling good. And now we're going to add the rest of our vegetables. Our meat sauce is looking a little bit dry, so now we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of water because we want our meat to have a nice soupy texture. So when you bite into that beef patty, you get that meat oozing. So we're adding a 1/4 cup of water. We're going to mix that around, and so this is the texture you want. You want your beef patty to look nice and soft and juicy. I did use my submersible blender to blend around 40% of my meat sauce. I forgot to capture this part in the video. And now I'm going to cut up my dough sheet into small segments. I'm going to cut them up into 4 inches wide by 8 inches long. So I'm using my pizza cutter to cut these small segments, making sure that the edges are straight. And now I'm going to add my meat onto my dough sheet, and we're adding a reasonable amount. You do not want to add too much because when the patty is in the oven, sometimes it can pop the edges and the patties may ooze from the sides. So now I'm folding and lightly tapping the edges. So you want to make sure the meat is always in the middle and at least 1/2 inch away from the edge. Again, don't overfill your beef patties with too much meat because when it's baking, the edges can pop and the meat can ooze from the sides. You don't want to add too little, just add a reasonable amount. So I'm using my pizza cutter to make some nice clean cut. And now I'm going to fold and tap the edges. So you're going to just repeat this process. Yeah, at this point we're almost near the finish mark for making our beef patties. And you do feel a high sense of accomplishment because this was quite a process, but it's worth every single second my time. So we're just folding and tapping the edges. Again, we're tapping to create a nice seal. And now we're going to use our pizza cutter to cut and shape the border of our beef patties. There we go. I'm just removing all the excess dough. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description where you can get these pizza cutter. These pastry cutters. Yeah, I got them off Amazon, and it does a really good job at cutting and sealing the crust. Again, don't worry about the excess dough. You can always use that excess dough to make more beef patty crust, because that's what I did. Nothing was wasted. Wow, these came out real beautiful. And now onto a sheet, we're gonna put our beef patties onto this baking sheet. Align the entire area with some parchment paper. And I'll also put the description in the video where you can get this particular baking sheet. Now tell me, aren't those patties looking good? These are the real deal. And you can make these at home, guys. Yeah, everything looking perfect. All right, so now we're gonna put these into the oven at 370 degrees, and we're gonna bake these for 30 minutes. Again, guys, if you're still watching, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment. There we go, and make sure you have subscribed to the channel, because you don't want to miss out on content like these. This is what our patty looks like after 30 minutes. They're fully baked. And I just, plated them and garnished with some celery leaves. Yeah, these came out phenomenal. So I'm just gonna break and just look at that. Just look how juicy that patty is on the inside. These came out really good. Yeah, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. I know this was a very long video. Guys, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. All right, God bless. Cheers, peace, and love.